love's the answer, you will win every time. Let's break the chains and let it shine. So wave your colors of love, light up the sky, and out of the dark, bring the universe to life. Give it your all, love is all, no matter what your heart decides. We are one, let's unite. So wave your colors of love, na 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 na. So wave your colors of love, na 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 na. So wave your colors of love, light up the sky, and out of the dark, bring the universe to life. Give it your all, love is all, no matter what your heart decides. We are one, let's unite. So wave your colors of love. Na 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 na. So wave your colors of love, light up the sky, and out of the dark, bring the universe to life. Give it your all, love is all, no matter what your heart decides. We are one, let's unite. So wave your colors of love.
So, welcome to the showcase. This is where I interview entertainers because I believe people like to know about entertainers and how they achieve their success. But I can't do it without you, so I need you to watch to the end, leave a comment, click the thumbs up and subscribe for more great content. Some of these acts that come on here spend loads of time and have no ill feeling about coming on, and they just do it because they want you to see who they are. So, got a bit tongue twisted there, sorry. And I'd like to introduce my guest today, and absolutely one of the best people you could ever meet in the business, and really making a name for herself. And I remember as a duo called Rio Madness. So, hello, Soraya.
Hello, my darling. How are you?
All the best for seeing you. I never thought you'd come on here now because you're well. I don't know. I just got the feeling that you've got some big success behind you now. Maybe you don't have the time, or maybe you think I'm just a little bit too not big enough to.
That's really, really cringe what you've said, because at the end of the day, right, me and you go back a long, long way, and whatever I'm doing or whatever, listen, I will champion talent like you, and don't ever think that I have that I'm ever too busy to talk to anybody. I don't think that nobody's in a position to not do that, are they? It's great that you're flying, and of course we're going to talk and have a giggle about what we did and where we've come from, and have a bit of a reminisce.
My
You know,
God.
what I'm doing now is basically through hard graft, like you.
Yeah, you're right there. And you know, people just think it's given to you on a plate, and it's not. It's a lot of hard work. So, Soraya, when you first got in the business, how did you feel that you wanted to be a singer? What happened?
Well, we're both, obviously, I originate from Hull, and I started off dancing. And I was very, very fortunate to have the most incredible parents that supported me, and was able to facilitate doing what I wanted to do. And a very, very good friend of ours, Chris Norfolk, who's from Hull. Obviously, I'm from Hull originally. You know, I started doing like talent competitions and singing and things like that. And I started on the clubs at 12 and gained a lot of experience like that. And I managed to do some really, really nice things. Thankfully, I've got a bit of a voice that sort of like opened a few doors for me, and then I hooked up with my partner Jason Avenand, and we got into a duo, as you know, and we did really, really well as that. But Jason's incredibly gifted as well as a keyboard player, and we started writing some stuff, and then we basically got a deal with all around the world, which is like responsible for Clubland, you know, Cascada, everything, all the Clubland stuff. I actually, our first track was actually on the first Clubland album, and that just the floodgates opened, and basically you know, we've done so many things. You know, my husband is a very, very well respected producer from Pontefract, a part of Riffs and Rays that has remixed from like, well, absolutely everybody across the board, from Sophie Ellis Becks to Cascada, Erasure, everything. And I was really, really fortunate to have also got picked up by the guy that was behind Ed Candy, and I toured with them for 15 years around the world and done some amazing things like F1s and some of the biggest gigs, and worked with absolutely everybody. And
it really suits you, Soraya, dance music, doesn't it? You've got that kind of raunchy voice. I mean, you can't beat it, dance music. And I think it's coming back, you know, because there's a girl in Hull who does dance music. You'll probably know her.
I think I know who you're going to talk about, because I really, really rate Zara.
Oh, Zara, my God, yeah, what a voice.
Great.
Yeah.
Pipe, fantastic. I put some stuff her way, actually. And
Have you? That's nice.
It's really weird, because we're just talking. I'm involved with a charity, a dog charity, and not so long ago, they basically they had their van pinched. And to cut a long story short, we needed to raise some money. So I basically auctioned some of my stage gear off, and Zara contributed over £350 to that. So you've got to give her a big shout for that. And so she's got some of my stuff, including including some other people that contributed to help get this van so the dogs could be rescued. But yes, listen, right voice, absolutely fantastic.
And it's nice to see that, you know, we're all Hull people, because it's such a back and beyond place, Hull. You know, one road in, one road out. And, you know, when we did our grounding in the clubs at Soraya, you know, I got fed up of that M62 and, and the M1 and the A1, you know. Did you ever do any 10-day runs?
Of course I did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You did,
Listen, I'd have been all right now, because you get fined when you're not at school. But I was doing clubs at 12, wasn't I? And I was doing 10-day runs in the northeast, in Wales, going up to South Wales, and my nana used to drive me and everything. And I'm really, listen, all that gave me absolutely everything that I needed to be able to perform. I mean, you know, in the valleys, obviously one of the greatest singers of all time, Tom Jones. I've had the fortunate, I've worked with Tom. All right, love. You know, all them giving you all that experience and everything. I did loads of 10-day runs, and they were saying, where is she? My mum said, oh, she's singing. And I think I were hardly I was hardly at school, really. I was like doing what I'm very, very fortunate to do, and to be able to perform all over. But I loved it. I love singing in the valleys to all the people.
Me too.
You know, in the clubs and stuff like that. I
didn't know, Soraya, that you started that young. You know, it's
God, yeah,
because
absolutely,
nowadays they don't allow, if you're under 16, they're not allowing you in the club anymore.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. I mean, I had to have a license. I had to have a license to perform.
God, did you stay at Gareth Thomas's, or did you stay at Pam and Dave's?
Yeah. No, I stayed at Gareth's.
Correct.
Gareth. I remember thinking, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm going down to South Wales and I've got a 10-day run and everything like that. And I absolutely loved it. And, you know, this is why I always champion the people that have done it. Like, you look at your Lulus, you look at your Shirley Bassey, your Tom Jones, your Robbie Williams. They're still doing it because they can do it, because they can go out and perform live.
Yeah, and it's not easy. No, you're right. And I think Tom Jones started as a club singer, didn't he? In 100%,
the valleys. Absolutely, yeah. Robbie. Yeah. Lulu, you know,
Yeah.
even Beverly Knight. You know, I know that Beverly did some stuff like that, but these are your real singers that can
Yeah.
perform, that can do it, that can go out and do it live. And
Yeah.
that's why I admire them, and they're still doing it.
So what's your plans now? I know. Chris has told me that you've got some exciting things in the pipeline, and you've just signed. Is it a management contract or something?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I've been really, really fortunate to have tracks out and stuff like that over the
Yeah.
years on Ministry all around the world. Some of the, you know, Strictly Rhythm, some of the biggest labels. Really grateful for that. Some covers and also original stuff. And I've always been, how can I say, I've never really come across the right management for me. Because I'm really sort of like hands on and I know exactly what's for me and not what isn't for me. And
Yeah.
also, I'm very, very proud of the fact that I'm also a straight ally to the LGBT plus community, as you know, and I get to travel all across the world as an ambassador. And basically, it happened really organically. I got asked to do this track by one of the writers behind Gina G. And his partner, he actually set up Ministry, but he's also the head. He runs Brighton Pride, London Pride, and he worked at Crown and he worked with Becky Hill and Ella Henderson for quite a while. Anyway, it's organically grown the relationship, and it's Horlock House, and he's got a talent roster that is incredible. People from TV, myself, and also Tara McDonald, who obviously, you know who Tara is. She was responsible for My with Alma Van Elden and Axwell and Getter, and she's also a straight ally as well to the LGBT community. So it's a very sort of like organic home, and it's a home of inclusivity. But the stuff that I've got going with them, I've just landed something that's absolutely incredible. That I've got coming up. I basically with the head with the main sponsor for London Pride. It's called Pride Pay, and it's in association with MasterCard. And my brand new single is the single for that card, which I'm so lucky. Little girl from Wakey at the moment.
Wow.
The people that are designing my dress, they did Kylie's and they did J-Lo's, and now they're doing Soraya's from Wakey, which is great. Yeah, that's incredible. And also, I've got my radio show with Glitterbeam, which is an LGBT radio station that covers all of Europe. Comes out of Malta, and then I've got something else coming up with YO1 to do with a new guy who's off of Channel 4, my wingman. We're married at first sight. We've got something coming up very special called Let's Get the Kettle On, where we're going to be. We've been given our very own live lounge where people are going to be able to come and join us in the middle of York High Street, which is really exciting. So obviously all my friends from Hull and all the Northerners and everything, very, very Northern, which is called Let's Get the Kettle On, but it's also a show that incorporates everybody and their talent, because as you know, I've got my own column and I'm really into up and coming talent, and I champion that, which is really important for me. And just, yeah, I'm very, very gracious about the position that I'm in and the stuff that I get to do, as you know, but I'm still little old me doing what I do, and that's it. And you know what, as well, the people that I meet, they're just like people that are normal and real. And I think Northerners are. So when I go into rooms where there's certain people that, you know, that she's that or he's he and stuff like that, and I'm bringing them on the stage and whatever, you treat them just the same and they're like that. Do you know what I mean? No ego. And which is really important, because, you know, for me, we want everybody to win in this life, don't we? And that's what's important.
Well, we all come from the same place, Soraya, and we've just got different talents and different things, you know.
100%,
Has it
100%.
taken a lot of pressure off you now having Horlock with you as your team? Are they kind of like pushing you now without you having to do too much?
Well, yes, because at the end of the day, I think basically from my point of view, I think women, I'm a massive champion for women sort of like being strong and a warrior and you know, manoeuvring your own career. But it's got to a point now, which I'm very grateful of, that I can't do everything. And I have to do things that I've got to be there to do that. And then, you know, this sounds so, how can I say it without sounding, but I've got like a team of people, there's 7 people that run the Soraya Vivien train that that is moving forward, and everything that has to be implemented and stuff like that, with like all this that's coming out to and I'm grateful for that, and I feel very, very blessed, and I'm very, very lucky, because it's a team of people that I also think that I know that I'm in the right place, with a part of Horlock, the lady Claire, she's lovely, and she looked after Sharon Osbourne for like 8 years, and like these are the people that like like little old Soraya's like working with, and I'm great, and they're grateful. But the thing is, it comes from a place of truth, and they know, and they like saying, right, as we build this out, this is what has to happen, and I've got faith in that, and I know that I'm not like, oh my God, do I need to do that? But I also want to say, I give a tap on my back to anybody. It's took hard work and determination and tenacity for me to do what I'm doing now, for me to be able to get to that. Do you know what I mean?
Sure,
and
I
also,
do, and
you've
I'm
got to
sure
have
many others
self-belief.
do. Yeah, you do, Soraya, because many people nowadays, they've got a lovely voice, but they're just happy to go sing in the pubs and clubs and earn their 80 or 150 quid. They don't have an ambition for the future. Well, you've had an ambition, you've worked towards it, and you're achieving it.
Thank you. That's lovely. And listen, at the end of the day, like you're saying, whatever they're working for, if it's your passion, then you do it. And at the end of the day, we've all got to put food on the table. And let me tell you, when I first started out, I was very, very fortunate one time, and I also got onto sort of like on the scene and doing the dance stuff and doing the PAs, and I'm grateful, and obviously getting signed with Clubland and then all that lot. But I saw that what I needed to do, and I thought, right, I need to put myself in that position, be able to be seen and be put under the nose of people. And I remember thinking, right, well, I can't believe that I'm doing this for that. But you know what? Because I had a self-belief in myself that at the end of the day, if I put myself under the right noses, then fingers crossed they'll see what I'm capable of doing. And it has paid dividends to me, and I'm grateful for that. At the end of the day, my voice is responsible for some really, really big dance tracks, and I'm grateful for that. And some dance tracks that nobody would ever know it's me either. And I've learned that. But this is what you do in the business, isn't it? Because you want to get in, and you want to, the business is it's hard to get into it, and it's hard to break, because if you've got to have a humility about you, but you've also got to have an honesty about you. And obviously there's some people, like you said, that you can get, people do get ripped off. I'm not saying that I've ever been ripped off, because my personality is quite strong, and because I did the clubs, and because I was earning a living, I knew what I used to think, well, is that right or is that wrong, and am I being ripped off here? So everything's clean with me, and if it doesn't sit right, I won't do it, whether I think that it's for that amount of money or not. It's got to feel right to you, hasn't it?
You're right. So what's your ultimate ambition, Soraya? What's the outcome that you're trying to achieve?
Well, I think I'm really, really grateful. I think I've achieved what I set out to achieve. I set out to achieve to get a deal. I set out to achieve to want to sing for Ed Candy. I set out to achieve to get me on radio station, and I'm really, really grateful for that. But I've grafted for it, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and especially with presenting and the things that I get asked to do, and I get flown in everywhere to do. Obviously, I have to sign quite a lot of NDAs, because I get to sing for royalty. I get to do things like that, and stuff like that. And I just want to continue to do it as long as I'm happy and as healthy, and the people that I love are happy and healthy. We get one crack, don't we, at this? I never ever did it to want to be famous, because I'm not that famous or anything like that. Do you understand what I mean? Some people might not even ever heard of me, and that's absolutely cool. I just do it because it felt natural for me to do it.
Yeah.
And I think that if your talent can put a smile on somebody's face, and if you can walk in that room and you can set that room on fire, because it's not about me, it's about us, isn't it? Yeah. It's about creating that vibe and creating that moment. Then you've done your job, haven't you? Obviously it's taken me to bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger stages where I can walk out and I do the things that I do. That was a really good day for me when I supported, like, UB40. I got to do that, and obviously bringing certain big people on stage, and I just want to continue to be happy and just do what I do and be able to do what I do, and that's it, really.
The connections are all made.
Kind of, 100%. But the other week I went and sang for a really famous DJ's mum who sadly got dementia, but he asked me to do it. And you know what? That was one of the best gigs I've ever done in my life. I went and sang, and I sang for her. And I remember when he had his hit record out and we was doing something, and we walked back and she'd cooked us gravy and chips. And now she didn't even know who I was. She couldn't remember who I was. And I went and sang for her. And it was heartbreaking. To see all those lovely people, and that was an honour for me to sing for all those lovely ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand what I mean? So they're the kind of things that touch your heart there. And that was like, as long as you can continue to bring happiness and you can bring a smile on somebody's face, that's it. My mum used to say to me, Soraya, you don't sound like Celine Dion, do you? And I'm never going to do. But what I've got of you.
Yeah. And you... Listen, years and years ago when you was in the Clubland as Rio Madness, everywhere I went, your posters were on the wall. People were talking about you. And you was the biggest thing in Clubland. Nowadays, times have changed dramatically. And there isn't the clubs around anymore. So you've probably achieved more than anybody by coming away from it, from learning from it, to develop your art and put it into this package that is now sellable worldwide,
Well, thank you very much for that. But at the end of the day, I do believe that, we had the best times. We had the best times in Clubland and doing what we was doing. And I'm very, very grateful for that because it gave us absolutely everything.
Yeah.
When you're talking about it and saying that getting out of it, I would say Rio Madness was a bit of a victim of its own success because basically it was that busy. You never ever thought or anything. We never really sat down and thought, this is what we're going to do. We need to sit down here. We need to write some tracks here, some dance stuff. But we did get round to it, and thankfully we did do it, and we did get out of it at the time that was right. But basically I should have got out of it about 4 years earlier than that because I was being offered stuff left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
But because I'm an honourable person and we had an amazing agent and I was here doing this, here doing that, flying out to Dubai, even as Rio Madness then and stuff like that. We had commitments and you've got to be honourable, aren't you, and do the right thing and not to just think, right, well, I'm just going to pull that out because I've been offered that. But I was getting a lot of offers then. And at that time, I was just contented doing like the Rio stuff. And then, then we had to have a word with ourselves and think, we really, really need to we need to stop this now and we need to really, really, really focus on what we're doing because I was still doing the clubs when I first got signed and it was hard because I was being offered stuff and I couldn't do that and I wouldn't pull gigs out. I wouldn't pull gigs out to clubs that had looked after me. This is the best story ever. I was gigging in Moscow. Right, at the Imperial Lounge for Moscow's biggest radio station, right? And they flew me in and it was for Fashion TV and I was on MTV on the Saturday night at the Imperial Lounge in Moscow, right? And when you flew back to the UK, you could always gain that 7 hours back. And let me tell you, I did that on the Saturday night, pulled me up in a limo, everything, first class on the plane, the lot. I got back to the UK. I did collie working men's on the Sunday and he says, can you go for your money, Soraya? Because meat raffles, we're drawing meat raffle. So that's what I'm telling you. But I wouldn't pull collie out because collie had booked me for 10 years.
Yeah, I understand.
And like, it were lovely. They were lovely and they knew that I'd done it and they went, oh, it's great, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you look after them that look after you. And I never, ever forget that because it were collie working that probably bought me my nice car.
Understand.
But I could always do it because I could get the 7 hours coming back. So I literally walked out of that gig, straight onto a plane, back to the UK, and we did collie on the Saturday night, on Sunday.
Jeez, great. Soraya, was you, because me and Karen did lots of 5-star hotels, when you was doing 4 and 5 45s a night in Dubai for Eva Clarence, was you doing that?
45s a night? I'd do 145 and that was it.
No,
sorry,
it's a lot.
I never did. I did it. I tell you where I did the Pancho Villas for Phil Pendlebury.
Oh, I know it. Yeah.
Well, Phil was a part of Riffs and Rays with Jason and Dave out of Entrance, who I'm gigging with tomorrow. That was the three. They were the three producers that knocked out so many remixes for all around the world. And Jason did Top of the Pops with An Eye a Day, but obviously Phil, who was in Off the Wall, going back. Phil, Off the Wall, they approached me to be their singer, right?
Oh.
And they came to see me, and obviously I said, thank you so much. But I was just starting to go out with Jason at the time.
God.
And Phil and Jason. And then obviously really good friends. And then basically they set Riffs and Rays up. Me and Jason got the deal with All Around the World. They set Riffs and Rays up, remix outfit. And then obviously the remix from absolutely everybody, from Sophie Ellis
Bloody
Bextor
hell.
to,
God.
everybody. But yeah, that's Phil, and he's still in Dubai now.
Pancho Villas is still open, and you just did a one-off gig, did you?
No, I can't remember now. No, I think we did. They took us out there for.
Yeah.
I think it was a 7 nights, but I would only do one set.
I see. Yeah. And who was the musicians that was there then at that time?
At that time, it was Phil, and there was this guy called Rick, and he was a guitarist. Honest to God, he was absolutely. I'll never forget the way that he sang "Fields of Gold." My mouth was on the floor like that. It was just
Really?
like, wow. Incredible. But this is like a long time ago, because obviously I've been out to Dubai and gigged loads and loads and loads with Ed Candy since, and like done like Sub-Zero and all that at Zero Gravity, and like, all the on the Palm and everything. But yeah, so I've seen Dubai change.
Yeah, I can imagine you have. Soraya, does it bother you flying? No.
Listen, how can it bother me? It's a lot better than when we used to get it back at Van. Mind you, I did have a nice bed and everything. Everybody used to say we've even got a bed in Van, but I did. I'm talking about them 10-day runs. We'd finish a Sunday night, and I'd wake up coming back to Pontefract because I was that ghost.
Oh.
Yeah. And Jason used to say, from Wales to Pontefract, and he went, you never know what the in-betweens are. But yeah, the flying, you do it, don't you? You've got to do it. It's your job, isn't it? That's what you do. Sometimes I get upgraded, and I'm really lucky for that, but sometimes you don't. Yeah.
So don't fly first class. That's terrible. So Soraya, what's would you like to have? I mean, when I look at the charts nowadays, there's no such thing as the charts, is there? Is it still going?
Yeah, they still have the charts. Yeah, they still have the charts, but it's all about, music's a lot more easy accessible now, isn't it? With Spotify and everything like that. But I've got a Spotify account, and I do get the downloads and things like that, and charting and things like that. It's completely different now than it was from back in the day. Yeah, back
it is, Soraya.
The day,
yeah, you're not wrong, and I like the fact that nowadays you have to have 1 million hits on Spotify or YouTube or whatever to get noticed nowadays. There's no record companies like there was before. You can't go down to London, live in a flat and hope you get seen anymore. All them days are gone, Soraya. What you're doing now is very different from what it was years ago. Because it's like it's not just a one-man job anymore. It's a big team behind you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think
to get signed now, it's all about the hits, and it's all about your followers, and it's all like that. I mean, listen, now we're really, really late to the social media thing. I can't even spell properly. I got expelled from school, mate. But there you go. But I think this is only personally to me. I think it's really, really difficult to sort of like big yourself up. I could sell you, I could whatever. And I think the most impressive thing about somebody is actually being able to do what you say you can do, and then you leave that on the stage and you come off. I don't like. I'm not into the ego side of like pushing that kind of thing. But as for getting deals, it's all driven about, your presence on socials and stuff like that. You've only got to look at how Ed Sheeran did it, and what a great talent he is. But it's all the YouTube, and YouTube even now, TV programs now, it's YouTube channels. It's all the way it's going. It's just different because it's a different generation.
It's still hard, Soraya, because to get people to follow you and like you, it's a very hard thing. You've got to be constantly selling yourself. Now, just to finish off, Soraya, do you have a website where people can listen to your music, watch your videos?
Yeah. It's just SorayaVivien.com.
Is that it? Simple as that? Oh.
It's just as simple as that. Yeah, you can go to my website. It's an olding page, but obviously, if you just Google me, you can see some stuff that I've done and things like that. Some really bad photos, but that's how it is. That's the way it is.
And people can only book you now through Horlocks, yeah?
Yeah. All my information's on there. Yeah. All the information's on there, and like I do some of the nicest, some really, really nice corporate stuff for like, brands and things like that. Yeah.
Good. That's fantastic. So we've been talking about Soraya and her challenge and rise to the top. Well, I don't know what the top is, but
Well,
you're
exactly.
actually, yeah,
Like that cringe.
you're actually in a happy place. That's what I like to call it. So if you want to see SorayaVivien.com, look on our website. By all means, I'll have this video up on YouTube, and you're welcome to watch that and leave a comment, ask her where she's playing. It's all about, Soraya now. So hopefully she'll be at a venue near you, and you can go see her for yourself and just follow and keep in touch. And on behalf of me at the Showcase, all I ask you do is follow, keep in touch, and press the thumbs up. Last words from you, Soraya.
Well, I'll just tell you about where this the festivals that I'm doing. I've got well, tomorrow it's very Clubland tomorrow. It's with Ultra B, Entrance, Friday Night Posse. Then the week after, it's York Pride, which is great, and headlining. I think there's. We've got Marcus is on, Marcus Collins. Who else is on? Lavoie. I can't think who else is on. Then the week after, Wentfest with Boys Life with Brian McFadden, Aston Marigold, and then 90s Fest with like Scooter, Cascada. Oh God, you name it, absolutely everybody. But you can see all the flyers, like London Pride, Brighton, everything, the lot. There's some really. Yes, I've got some nice gigs coming up with some nice people. So, and they're all really nice. None of them are gets, as we would say. He's a little get.
So does he go with you everywhere?
Jason, not interested whatsoever. The only time,
really,
Jason. The only time that Jason's interested in coming to a gig is if it's an F1. If I do anything for F1, he's only in them gigs. He flew out to when I did the Singapore F1 at the Podium Lounge. He came to that. I did that a couple of times, and then I did Abu Dhabi. He didn't come to that one, but he's only interested if I do anything like that to do with sports, not using me.
There you go. Well, Soraya,
he still does his music and he still does his remixing.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
It's been a real pleasure talking to you, Soraya. Thank you so much for your time.
Darling.
And
You're very welcome, and keep thriving with your podcast and everything.
Yeah, all I'm doing is try to highlight the brilliant entertainers like yourself. So thank you, Soraya.
Oh, God love you. That's so lovely, and thank you very much for your support. And whoever you've got joining you in your show, we wish them well, don't we? And it's all about up and coming talent. That's what we want.
It is. Thank you, Soraya.
You're welcome. Take care.
This is for you. I got peace deep in my soul.